I've decided to vlog. Can't sleep. And I have some pretty good tips for people that are cooking. And, I actually do have a cooking blog, and I usually write it down, but at the same time I usually end up kind of not. So it doesn't really get said at all, and I mean, they're really good tips. Like, I've got this one book. It usually ends up somewhere in the kitchen, because it has the most of the really simple recipes that are really easy to do alterations to. I mean, easy, simple, the quick stuff, but it's also got some of the really good, like, breads and stuff that I like to make that are more simple but do require that extra TLC. Otherwise, let's just say it's really old recipes. The stuff that you don't find anymore, or at least it's harder to find, where if you don't need it a certain amount of times, you're SOL. It's got some recipes in there that I can't find anywhere else, so it's actually one of my favorites. Okay, then you have this one. This is my naughty cooking book. You wanna know why? Because every time I open it, I stare at that. Do you know what that's called? Those are called chocolate fantasies. Right now, I am looking at conversions for this. Now, this is actually a pretty good site, so I will link it, because Baker's chocolate, for whatever reason, you can't buy it near our house. 3 different grocery stores within a 5-mile radius. I'd have to look further for a 10-mile radius. Actually do a check on that. I mean, we've got a Fry's, Food City, I forget what the other one's called because I've never been. No, it's another Fry's. Yeah. So we've got 2 Fry's in a Food City within a 5-mile radius. The other one might be another half a mile out, but yeah. There's no Baker's chocolate. If we do somehow manage to find it, I think I've seen it once, past couple of years, and it was in our mother. So I'm going to use chocolate chips. And there are conversions for this. And Gene is a chocoholic, more so than me. See, I can resist it unless it's in front of me. Unless I'm looking at it, And I've got all these intricate plans for his birthday cake. But I'm going to throw them off. Because I never use cake mix. I've never even made him my cake box cookies. Because I got the recipe from this older lady named Diana, who, that was the one upset about being around a lot of older people. No kids to play with, you were bored, so you just listened. Learned a lot. I mean, honestly, whenever my grandmother pushed me into going to culinary school, by the way, I dropped out because I couldn't do conversion. And that apparently was the only math that they did. They swore whenever I went in that there was no math. And I already knew that I was way below college level, and they had my IEP and everything from high school to show it, so they didn't really care. So yeah, I'm going to make, this is basically one of those things that you're usually lucky if I bake something really scrumptious once or twice a month. And I always make sure that it's cost effective, if at all possible. And if not, then it's probably the only thing that I make like that much. Usually I preserve that for like occasions, like if we know that we're gonna have friends over, that sort of thing. So this is something I saw Gene staring at one day, not in my book, but looking it up on the internet. The entire time I knew that in one of my cooking books I had it. It's actually a lot simpler than the recipe that he looked up. At the same time, it's just different. It has different things in it. Then I've got a really good fudge in here. I don't usually use this book. I've been like I don't even like, usually whenever I do fudge, I consider using marshmallows as cheating. So I usually don't. But this fudge calls for a special occasion, you know? It's cheating that I'm going to do it. Which reminds me, I need to put marshmallows on this. Now, here's the thing. I'm making these as cost effective as possible. The entire bit should cost less than 20, maybe 30, but only because I'm making 3 different things. And one of them includes fruit. Now, my reasoning for this is Gene's not even going to let me go to the store with him today. Because he knows I'm hurting. He knows I barely made it to court with him yesterday. Which, by the way, they really screwed him. Not in, like, the one guy, it's a really good thing that he went in there, because he made sure that this lady did not, like, take out her crap on him too badly. Because, I mean, she put his income from his part-time job as over $1,000. It's not. Me and Gene went over his pay stubs afterwards. Even his, like, 2 highest pay stubs are under, okay? If you average it out like they were supposed to, she put his income as being nearly $400 more than it is. So, I'm kind of pissed at them, and so Jane's kind of just like, God, that man is a freaking saint. Doesn't even have a mean bone in his body unless, you know. No, I saw it once. My ex-husband put his hands on me. The only time I've known him for like 6-7 years. That was the only time. And it didn't scare me. Scared Eric. Scared my ex-husband. Didn't scare me. Surprised the hell out of me though. Anyway, this is a really good one. It's also got some stuff in the back. Basically, the kind of stuff that you go to college to learn. Yeah, apparently that's part of culinary school, where they teach you the very basics of cake decorating and crap. There's even a trick. They even have like really good tricks, like taking a sandwich baggie, putting some melted chocolate in it, and cutting a little corner off and then squeezing it out. Basically, you can make your own squeezing, which is really useful because my grandfather decided to pilfer and sell my knife set, which had all of my cake decorating equipment in it. That was years ago, but it's not like I'm ever going to forget it. Because that knife set was worth more than his house. Kind of an insult to injury that everything that I had saved up and put in it, I mean, wasn't even, like, these were German knives to begin with, really good. Really, really good. And I also had some knives in there that weren't from that set. I put them in, they even had a rolly case and everything. That's why I put it in there. I mean, there were just elements that I like to have in there that weren't already in there. So I put them in there, you know, like my favorite knife, all that fun stuff. My grandfather sold it. The stuff I'd added to it, the stuff that was in it, that to begin with, he didn't even care that it was mine. So yeah. That was one of the things I learned growing up, though. If I had anything even remotely of value, my grandparents would take it, refuse to give it back to me, and sell it. It happened with any toys that I kept in good condition that you know, in the box type stuff. And it happened to this things that I bought at garage sales that they just decided that they found out that they could get money for. I mean, you'd be surprised what you can find in Sun City for a quarter, especially whenever you're a cute little kid. And that's the type of stuff that would happen. And I wanted it, but it would just up and disappear. And the grandmother would tell me that I just lost it. But more than once, I caught her taking something. And I don't know. My grandmother and my ex-husband would be two birds of a feather. Anyway, this is actually a really good book. Yeah, it's even got directions on how to make kid perforation. Where you can actually use a strudel, you know, some wax paper, put it down, and you can actually make some shapes. My plan is to make some little Dr. Who's and shapes for Jimmy, because he loves Dr. Who. He's a chocoholic, he loves Dr. Who, he's a total Who'er. To save time, because he wants to go somewhere for lunch, you know, so I can at least make the cake, you know, decorate it maybe whenever we get back. I'm actually using a cake mix. But there is an alteration that is in this cookbook that goes with that cake mix, very specifically. So yeah, I also told him to get his favorite fruit because that's what they told it. Except the recipe itself calls for strawberries, and I actually choose fruit. So it calls for white cake, and Gina's a chocoholic. There's no white cake going to be involved in this. It's going to be chocolate cake mix of his choice. I've already got everything that I need to know about, you know, like I even looked up if that changed anything with the cake alterations that they made to it. Nope. Not really. The only thing that changes is that it's not vanilla, so you have to keep in mind that certain fruit toppings are going to go with it. Now, I left it up to him because I thought about every single possible thing already pulled up on what I'll have to do. Also, this is me trying to make up for not being able to go to the store with him. He's going to take me with him later, I mean, because he wants to go play at the arcade. It's, he's a guy. You'd be surprised how mature he actually is. But, sometimes people like to play. Especially since, you know, he gets off steam. And, on my birthday we went there. He kicked my butt at some racing game. I kicked his butt at air hockey. You know, we only played a couple games. Not like we were like. But yeah. Even mature adults can go play a video game every once in a while, especially in a public place like that. Can actually tell you, an arcade is an opportunity for, like, if you have your kids. I mean, we saw a mother and her son playing a shooting game together. Dad was off to the side. I mean, it honestly brings it into a family activity instead of just, I've seen, like, our friend Ron has a son, and he's a teenager, and he's always holding himself up in his room playing video games. Well, he's going to play video games anyway, because they're there, and he saves up his money to get them. And that was the deal. So, you know, if you kind of encourage him earlier on to actually go into a more there's other kids to play with setting, you might actually not have them socially stinted later. Because some of them do become socially stinted. It's a developmental thing. It makes them more aware that there are other kids and more social with other kids. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go back to doing my conversion.